Hello, friend, and welcome. If you're new here, I'm super excited to meet you. And if you're returning, I hope you're having a much better day than the last time we talked. In this reading, I really want to work on finding out what is going to help us obtain the peace that we want. What is going to help us reach the level of peace that would help us on our day-to-day levels. And I want to remind you that my readings do involve a bit of shadow work along with intuitive messages. And these readings are here just to help you on your spiritual journey, to give you step-by-step guidance as you go, day by day. So let's go ahead and get into what it is that we need to know to help us maintain or create or find peace. So that way we have ease moving forward. Okay, these two cards really want to come out. Those two. All right. First card that we have. Shield your energy. Look beneath the surface. So this is something that when you receive this, it's a reminder that your boundaries are important, and you need to have emotional boundaries and spiritual boundaries and physical boundaries. Boundaries of all levels are important. So when I hear or see the card shield your energy, look beneath the surface, this is one of those questions where you're being asked, what is it that you're allowing to happen or come into your life that isn't serving you, that isn't helping you, that's actually taking energy away from you? And think about it in the sense of, what am I allowing people to take from me that I'm not willing to give, or I don't want to give? Are you a yes person? Are you a people pleaser? Are you giving up parts of yourself to literally just make others' lives easier? This is one of those things where you need to be real honest with yourself, and that's why it says look beneath the surface, because the answer isn't going to be obvious. It's going to take you a little bit of introspection. It's going to take you having to go internal to distinguish what is being taken from you and what you're actually offering or giving. And we got two turtle cards, but that's clearly a frog. It's fine. Between worlds, new directions. So this is telling me that you're in an in-between phase, and an in-between phase sucks. 100%. No one likes it. But what I love about this card is, like, the turtle just looks so happy, and it's just kind of swimming in its own little flow. And because of Finding Nemo, I'm not going to lie, 100% going to Finding Nemo here. I have the impression, I don't know if this is true or not, but I have the impression that sea turtles go slow and, with the current, but when they find whatever that stream was that was like the roller coaster, they ride that too. And so they literally just go with whatever, is presented to them. They find fun in all of it. They find happiness in all of it. Now, again, yes, I am purely making this reference off of Finding Nemo, but if it resonates, it resonates. And that's what I honestly feel like, and that's how I honestly see this card every time I receive it. Is that, yes, right now you're just kind of like in the current and it's no fun, and right now everything's a little bit outside of your control, but give it time and you're going to be back into where you can swim where you want to. You can go where you want to. Soul fragments. Balance will be restored. So this complements what I was talking about with this card so much about, you being in the in-between phase and just going with the flow, and about having things that are outside your control right now. Because again, yes, things are outside your control. So when we have soul fragments here, balance will be restored. It's that reminder that you are probably coming out of, I'm going to say an ebb period, and let me explain that. So we have the natural flows and ebbs of life. Think of flow as a high tide, and think of ebb as a low tide. And right now you're just in that low tide. And when you're in that low tide, a lot of times, the pressure on you is created in such a way for you to release and crack things that are no longer serving you, for you to anchor further into your own personal truth, and for you to, go through some type of growth. Unfortunately, what you have to do in order to grow is a little bit of struggle. Struggle is what creates growth. And you don't believe me, you're like, Kirsten, that's dumb. Look at nature. Look at the plants. Look at trees. Everything has to, go through some type of like struggle in order to grow. And you're like, here's, that's dumb, trees just grow. Okay, let's give the visual I like to give. When you plant a seed, okay, the seed has to somehow pop out of itself, out of the case, to like create the roots. That itself is struggle. And then the seed has to find a way up to the surface. That is more struggle. And then when it gets to the dirt, it creates like a little pile, and it has to get through that. And cresting is the hard part. Like if you've ever seen a picture of a seed in a translucent or be like that's next to glass, they always curve at the top because that's the hardest part. And then it finally pops through. All of that is struggle. And that's what I mean by even nature has to struggle in order to grow. And it's one of those things where struggle doesn't have to be like extreme. Struggle could just be that you had a bad day. Struggle could just be that you were presented with a challenging issue. Struggle could just be that, someone cut you off and you're really trying to work on your road rage issues. Struggle doesn't have to be long-term. It doesn't have to be forever. It's just struggle is part of growth. So right now, you're just in that struggle phase. Energy signature. The past is in the present. Interesting. So this deck is still kind of new to me, and I'm still learning with it, and this is the first time I've actually seen this card. I have to say, though, when I'm reading the past is in the present, that's telling me that there's still outdated identities, outdated habits, outdated beliefs that are holding you back, that are keeping you from being able to move forward. It's one of those things where, like I talked about with this card, about, what is it that you're still doing? Like the people pleasing, what boundaries do you need to instill? Because if the past is in the present, that means that this has been something that you've been doing for a while. You've allowed yourself to be a walking mat for a while. You've allowed yourself to be the people pleaser. You've allowed yourself to be this thing, and it's one of those things that is no longer the truth that you're working to be, because you're working to create something new. You're looking to have new directions, and that's why you're in this in-between phase. And part of the struggle has to do with the fact that you need to leave out these old identities. You need to let go of them, and you need to decide that they're no longer part of you. So when I see that the past is in the present, this card is literally calling you out and saying, you need to let go of what's not serving you. It's meant to be in the past. It's not meant to carry you forward. It's not meant to be your future. It's not meant to be your whole identity anymore. It might have been necessary at one point, but now your identity is shifting. And with that shift, you need to let go of things that are no longer serving you. I want to know what identities we're holding on to, or it's like what identities we want to hold on to. It's not that I don't want to know that, but I also want to know like why we're struggling to let go of it. And I get that it's something that's rooted deep, but I'm going to ask the tarot cards what the identities are and why we find ourselves so attached to them. There we go. Okay. It was pretty decisive by the tarot. All right, so we have the Lovers in the reverse position. When I see the Lovers in the reverse position or in the upright position, it's still about you. It's not necessarily about you and other people, because here's the thing about the Lovers. The Lovers always represents the fact that, we have decision and choices that we have to make. Yes, if you're in a young, if you are in a young relationship, it doesn't feel like the decisions you're making are actual choices that you have to make, and I get that. But if you've been in a stable relationship for a couple of years, you know that sometimes you have to make decisions about, are you going to love or are you going to break down? And it sounds so like plain and black and white when I say it this way, but I know it's a lot more complex. So this Lovers card in its reverse position is literally asking you, what choices have you made recently when it comes to love? And this isn't necessarily about you and your partner. This is also about you and anybody that you love, including yourself. And the reason why I'm mentioning yourself is because the hardest person to love is yourself. It's a lot easier to love everybody else, but when it comes to loving yourself, most of us struggle with that, 100%. So when I see this card, what are you choosing? What choices are you making that are breaking down love? what choices are you making that are breaking down love with yourself? What choices are you making that are keeping you from being kind and compassionate and loving towards yourself, just like you would be for your friend? And see how that is affecting not just yourself, but those around you. So when I get this card, sorry, that came out strong and quickly. So throat chakra, already, I feel like that is Spirit's way of telling me that part of it is about you being silenced, or you saying things in order just to hurt people. Our throat chakra is one of those things where we often either, just shut up in silence because, what's the point of having this talk? What's the point of having this communication? Communicating itself can be very difficult because it's scary. You have to be vulnerable. You have to open up to people. Or if you're just talking to avoid the situation and casting blame, I feel like that's really significant. That was 100% the intuitive message I got with that. Ace of Swords in its reverse position. Oof. So this tells me that we have had an opportunity where something came and just cut to the truth. When the ace is in its, when this Ace of Swords, when the Swords is in its reverse position, it's normally that what we received wasn't welcome truth, but still necessary. So what's unwelcome truth? That's the, that skeleton that's in the closet that no one wanted to talk about that needed to come out. That's the truth that you have been hiding and not wanting anyone else to realize or learn about your situation. Ace of Swords in its reverse position comes and tells me that you have received some type of news, you've received some type of paradigm shift, something has come and altered things, and now you have to deal with it. You have to choose how you're going to handle it. And it's like just finding out that you've been cheated on, or that all of a sudden there's, a debt in your name that you didn't know exist, or, it's one of these things where it's not a pleasant truth, unfortunately. And I'm not saying this is going to happen to you, this already happened. Let's keep that in mind. So if you're going to be like, Kirsten, why are you telling me this? It's because you know what this unpleasant truth is, and you need to take responsibility with how you're going to handle how you handle it moving forward. Queen of Pentacles in her reverse position. Lots of resistance right now going on in this reading. I want to remind you that Pentacles are not just about finance, it's about your time and energy, because you spend time and you spend energy. And this Queen of Pentacles is coming along and telling me that you're allowing other people to spend your time and your energy for you. You are acting out of obligation and just doing for everybody else and emptying your cup and not even trying to fill it, because you just don't have time to fill your cup. You don't have time for you. You're actively neglecting yourself with this Queen in her reverse position. And here's the thing. You know how to do and take care of yourself. You just refuse to. You're giving your power away. Literally, you're not shielding your energy. You're giving it to everybody else. And then the Knight of Wands in its reverse position. I swear not all the cards are reversed. I'm gonna just pull from the center. Nope, that's a reverse card too. Ha! Okay, see, an upright card. And it's the Seven of Swords. You know what? I feel like that's significant. Also another upright card. So just to point out, they're not all reversed. But with the Knight of Wands here and its reverse position, this is telling me that you are being super impulsive and that you're burning yourself out and that you're just going. And you're not even giving yourself the ability to think of any of this as serving you. A lot of times with the Knight of Wands, I kind of get that we're chasing shiny objects. Words. We're chasing shiny one more time. We're chasing shiny object syndrome. And what does that mean? That means that we're just going from thing to thing to thing looking for happiness. And yeah, that might be part of what you're doing, but also I feel like instead of looking or going from thing to thing looking for happiness, you're going from thing to thing looking for validation. This isn't shiny object syndrome in the sense of like, oh, this thing's gonna fix me, oh, this thing's gonna make me happy. It's more like shiny object syndrome of, oh, if I do this for them, they're gonna love me. Oh, if I do this for them, they're gonna be proud of me. Oh, if I do this for them, I'm gonna feel better. Oh, if I do this for them, they're gonna see me differently. And that's not a space to be. So the fact that we have the Seven of Swords in its upright position, which is all about deceit, but it just means you're deceiving yourself. Like, look at this cat. They're just like, nope, I didn't do it. I refuse to see. And that's exactly what you're doing. You know. You see the red flags. You see the signs. You see it all. You know. You're just burying your head in the sand. You're just allowing yourself to live it because you know what other option do you have? And the truth is, you have other options. It's just up to you to protect your energy and to say no when you need to say no. So what is it that we need in order to help us with this? I'm asking the card straight up because we're in a really unhappy situation. And, you know, I even asked the tarot cards why and like what, right? The Lovers was the what. All this stuff is the why. So the what is that you are making the choices. You're making the decisions that aren't serving you. And these are all the reasons why. So how can we utilize this information? And, you know, how can we get ourselves out of it? How can we start choosing us? That card has like stuck out in like 3 shuffles. All right. Oh, that one flew. And then this one. All right, so let's do the one that flew first. We have collaboration. Collaboration achieves greater goals. So in this sense, the collaboration that you would need is to have someone else help you protect your energy. What do I mean by this? I mean someone who's going to support you, someone who is going to hold you accountable, like an accountability buddy. Someone that you, A, can be 100% honest with, and B, who can help you set up systems so that way you start filling your own cup to help you deal with whatever this news was that was just, you know, so that I don't even know how to explain them, like, because I feel the news and I feel that it was like life altering, but not in the sense of like you're never going to come from it or you're never going to be able to get over this, more just like in the sense of like your life has to seriously pivot now. And it has to pivot in a way that you didn't see coming, but you're going to be able to come from it. So collaboration. Who is it that you can work with? Who is it that you can talk to? Who is it that knows the situation, or who is it that you trust fully that you can even talk to the situation about? Don't go at this alone if you don't have to. Love. Love is everywhere. Open your heart and feel it. We even got the Lovers card, which was telling you that you needed to fill your own cup. You needed to make decisions. You needed to make choices for yourself. Start loving yourself. The answer isn't in, you know, how well you love others. It's in how well you love yourself. And here's the other thing. It says open. Love is anywhere. Love is everywhere. Open your heart to feel it. This means that you have to be on the receiving end of it too. You need to allow yourself to receive love. You need to allow yourself to receive whatever, you know, love is honestly there for you in an unconditional way. I'm not talking about conditional love, where you're doing these things for people and they're not giving you anything in return, or they're just taking from you. I'm talking about unconditional love. Can't receive it from other people, you can always work to give it to yourself. Easier said than done. I 100% know this. Loving myself is the greatest journey I've ever been on, and it took me 3+ decades to learn how to do it. But loving yourself. Abundance. Abundance comes from inner fulfillment and outer effort. So this one feels a little bit like a slap on the face. I get that because we're asking what is it that we need. Here's the thing. It's not necessarily that you need anything else. It's that you need to start seeing what you already have. Whenever I get abundance coming at me, it's one of those reminders that I have abundance of things. Even when I have bills to pay and debt hanging over me, I have to realize I still have a lot. I have a roof over my head. I have a lot of material resources as from the forms of books and cards and, you know, pots and pans, and I have lots of blankets. I have clothes. I have a lot of things. It's just every once in a while, I feel discontent and get disconcerted about my, you know, this one thing, and all of a sudden I let it take over. So abundance comes from inner fulfillment and outer effort. Give yourself the ability, A, to fill that cup, the inner effort, the inner fulfillment, so that way you can put out the outer effort. It starts with coming inside first, though. It starts with you taking care of yourself first. It starts with you filling up your cup. So let's get there. Freedom. Freedom comes from inner liberation. Okay, this is 3 cards now that have literally talked about inner. This has to come from inside of you. To let go of this past, to allow yourself to love yourself, to allow yourself to, take care of this low tide and get into this high tide, you need to allow yourself to, get to know the inside you, to get to know the real you, who you are as a person, who you are underneath all the masks that you are wearing. Freedom comes from inner liberation. If you can love yourself, if you can make the decisions that support you, if you can put yourself first, if you can place those boundaries in place, you'll have so much more freedom to be you and to find happiness than just by being there for everybody else. Just want to ask what it is for some encouragement. Like, what encouragement can you give us? Because this reading about finding our inner peace was pretty heady, and it was, a lot of heavy messages, a lot of, face your truth kind of things, and those are never anything to receive. Like, it's not that you don't want to receive it, it's just, it always feels heavy when you're receiving it, so let's ask for something to help lift up the weight, lift up the load. You've survived worse. That's a good reminder. And I want to remind you too that in the moment, those situations that you went through, you felt like you had no clue how you're going to get past them. And now it looks easy because you remember in hindsight how you did it. But in that moment, you were probably just as terrified and just as struggling as you are now. So you've survived worse. If you can survive those moments and still be here, you're going to survive this moment too. And you're going to keep moving on. This is worth it. It's a really good reminder. Because when you're in the middle of, the darkness, the struggle, the growth phase, the ebb phase, just the having to let go and learn, when you're in the middle of it, you're like, what's the point of all this? Trust me, there's a point and it's going to be worth it, and you're going to come out on the other side so much happier. This is worth it. It's worth this freedom that you are actively going after, that you are actively seeking and longing for. It's worth it. All the struggle is worth it because that's where you're headed. So yes, it's worth it. Say yes to you. Oh my goodness, the synchronicity of this card, because I have literally been saying that this whole entire reading, that you need to put you first. You need to take care of yourself. You need to do what's best for you. You need to put boundaries and barriers in place so that way your energy is protected. Say yes to you. And be louder than doubt. Actually, all of these, the last 4 cards are on key and on point. Be louder than doubt. Easier said than done, I know. But when you're in doubt moments, something that has helped me a lot is to write down, literally just journal out all the negative stuff. Just get it all out. And I know you're gonna be like, Kirsten, but manifestation, blah, blah, blah. Listen, the only way to get those thoughts out of your head is to give them the attention that they're asking for. If you want to give them the attention that they're asking for, journal them all out. And then put a big X in it after you're done. And then once you do that, then you can speak your truths. Then you can do your affirmations. Then you can, say what you need to say, hey, you guys are all a bunch of lies, and this is my truth. Be louder than doubt. Make doubt's voice so small that it barely exists. Because doubt isn't doing you any favors, and doubt is keeping you in the place of people pleasing, in the place of just doing for others and allowing, you to have lack of confidence where you're not making the decisions that are right for you to fill your cup. And if you're really just unsure of how, you even where to start on this personal journey or what it is that you need to do, there is a link in the description below for a private reading. I do still have some available time slots. Or you can also just, say something in comments. Put something in the comments to let us know, hey, I'm going through this thing, and talk it out in the comments. Sometimes just talking it out is the biggest thing that you can do for yourself. And when you're talking it out, even if you don't give us whatever the revelation is, you'll know what it is, and that's what's important. This is what I got for you, and I know that this was a tougher message than what even I thought it was going to be honest. I was like, oh, let's figure out what we need to do to, get peace in our lives. Yes, we have to do some work here. But here's the thing. You came to my channel, you watched this reading, you can do this. You wouldn't have lasted this whole reading if you couldn't have. You would have just clicked off by now. So you can do this. You got this. You're amazing. Believe in yourself. I believe in you. And I can't wait to see you again in the next reading so you can tell me how much better things got. This is all I got for you today. I love you. Bye-bye.